Alright guys, I've cut out, you can see I've cut out this cross member. I cut out the cross member over there. I'm working on cutting these. There was little uprights that came up this way to this angle iron. I'm working on cutting those off. I got those 3 off. I'm cutting this last one off. I forgot my hearing protection. Safety glasses, hearing protection, guys, all the time. Got it. Alright. So I got all those tabs off. Try and find one. That's what I got, you guys. That was a piece of angle iron. I plased it off right here. That was setting my height of the deck of my flatbed. Those little tabs, I didn't like them. I cut them off because they're just, they might be, I don't know, they might be 3/16, maybe. I don't think they're even that. They're not 8, but they're yeah, they might be 3/16. I don't know. But I cut them off right there. These were stuck to that frame. I just cut them off. We're gonna grab the flap disc. We're gonna clean all this up. Then I'm gonna work on patching this hole right here and that hole right there. Just want to clean up the ugly. You guys know me. I'm kind of a perfectionist. I want stuff to look good, so we're gonna clean this stuff up. Flap disc. You guys can see I left my chains hooked up to there in case my sawhorses fail. This thing's getting lighter as I'm starting to hack the stuff out of it, so it's better, but I just want to be double safe if I can. All right, you guys. Sorry, that might have been a little bit rough. All right, so we got all of our spots cleaned up where we had our brackets. I cleaned all the way up around this. You guys can see this thing is pretty hacked. Somebody definitely cut it with a torch. Super awesome straight lines, like literally, oof, it's rough. We're gonna patch this hole. I do gotta come back. I gotta clean the inside of this up. I did clean the outside, or I guess this would be the outside. I did clean up the inside of it on both sides and the bottom. I did this one the best I could. I'm gonna get my 90. I gotta get a little bit more in there. Got as much as I could with my grinder, front and back. Cleaned up all the tops. We're gonna come back. We're gonna square this off. V-grind everything, cut a piece to fit in there, put some metal on here to line everything back up with a bunch of clamps. We're gonna tack that in, weld it out. Same with this, we're gonna put another piece in here once I get all the rest of rust and dirt and crud cleaned off there. You guys can see I got a majority of it, but I still gotta pick up a little bit more right in that corner. The grinder just wouldn't quite get in there. So we're gonna get those square. Then we may, my kids and wife have to work and go to school tomorrow, so I'm gonna have plenty of time to work on this tomorrow. I'm gonna reassess some stuff that I got going on here with cross members, because it's a lot of money. I just don't want to pay it. You guys know me, I'm super cheap. I keep saying this. I hate the fact that I am, but I am. So I want this done as cheap as possible, because it's just my plow truck. But we're probably going to do some angle iron here. I'm thinking angle iron's a hell of a lot cheaper than channel, so I can buy double the angle iron for half the price of the channel is what I'm hoping. So I can take 2 pieces of angle iron and make my channel this way. I'll have to overlap it. It's not perfect, it's not the ideal situation, but I'm just not willing to pay $660 a freaking foot for channel. It's not happening. I'll figure something else out. And yeah, that's where I'm at, you guys. Like I said, I'm trying to do this on cheap. You may not be able to see it, but I still got a little chunk there, here, and right here that I got to get out of there. I just cut them off. I may just even leave them. I don't know. It's not a big deal that they're in there. I just kind of want it to look good. But I am going to work on this next. I'm going to get my 90 out. My air compressor's going so I can use my grinder. You guys saw in the last video I fixed that air compressor. My automatic purge will be here Saturday, so I will be replacing that. As I'm working on this, I'll kind of probably show you guys how I put that in and how it works. You have to have one of these if you guys got an air compressor, man. It's the way I feel about it. Like literally, it saved my air compressor. Toasted that one over there in my fireplace, but I learned my lesson and now I got an automatic purge. If you guys got an air compressor, they're a lot of money, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. Like even the small ones that are single stage, like that one is or was, and that one is over there. It only pumps one direction. It's still $500 to $800, you guys. So the longer you can make these tanks last, the better off you're going to be. So I would suggest 23 bucks, even 31. They go all the way up to about 250, 300 bucks for these automatic purges. It's worth the money, you guys, just to save your tank as much as you can. Tanks nowadays, steel's iffy. It's maybe 12 gauge if you're lucky, maybe. So just try to make them last as long as you guys can. That's kind of where I'm at. My first tank over there, it's my fireplace, and I got a replacement tank. It's getting bad. You guys saw my automatic purge. It was pretty gummed up. Lack of that automatic purge working in the winter, freezing up. Kind of is what it is. I live in Montana, so I kind of got to deal with it a little bit more than people that live in warmer, drier climates. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. So we're going to get on this. I'm going to get this squared up, get my piece cut, get it clamped and tacked in so you guys can kind of, I'll probably get my pieces put in so you can see what I'm going to do, because I'm going to pull this. I can kind of feel this is not perfect. This one's a little that way. This one's a little that way. So we're going to pull these two back towards each other, put a piece in here, tack it, slowly weld it out so we don't deform this too much, so we can get our cross members put in. We're also going to patch that hole tonight, probably. We'll see. I say tonight, it might not be tonight. It might be tomorrow. I'm home alone tomorrow, so we'll see what I do if I feel ambitious and want to keep working. We're going to call our local place, see how much angle iron is, call our place in Great Falls, see where we can get it cheaper. Thing about local is it's here, so I'm probably going to call Great Falls first, get a price from them. Call Pacific, see if they'll match them, because I really need it this weekend. I don't want to wait another week for this to get these cross members put in. So it's kind of where we're at. I'll let you guys know where we get when we get. All right, everyone. Got to show you what I got going on here. I'm working on patching this first hole. Here's what I got going on. So These are like some thicker wall square tube. I got one on the bottom, and I got it clamped to the bottom of this C-channel to pull these at the same level. Same thing on the back, I have one clamped to pull these backs together. Let me climb under here, maybe I can get a better view from this side. Yeah, so square tube is pulling the faces together. I put a piece or a C-clamp over here to pull my piece in. This was cut pretty crooked, you guys. And it was a little tweaked because I cut this brace out that was here. The metal that's here is just a little bit thicker than what I got. I don't know if you can see that. It's just a little bit bigger. It's like, we're talking maybe an eighth, maybe. I know this is a nominal size. This must be some older channel that they made this web a little bigger. This is nominal current day standards. So I V-ground all these edges all the way around. Same with down here. I did get a little bit of a big gap there and right there. Nothing that when I weld this, because I'm going to weld both sides of it, that won't straighten out or fill in. It's just the way this was, the ends of these were kind of cut off. I did cut them with a cutoff wheel, but like I said, it was sprung, so when I cut it, they're just a little teeny bit off. It's not ideally perfect, but it's freaking close enough, you guys. Once I get this welded in here, you won't even be able to see that it was in there, hopefully. If I grind, I'd probably leave the welds, so you will see the welds. I might grind this top smooth and this back side, but I'm gonna leave everything on that side. I'm probably gonna end up welding this both sides. I V-ground both this side and the back side, so we're gonna get this tacked in here. I'll probably hit these welds up here because I can get to them. Then we'll unclamp it, do the bottom ones, do these sides, and I'll kind of work my way around, jumping around as I'm welding this, just to try to keep it as straight as possible without it twanging on me. I might actually tack it, weld a little bit, let it cool, weld a little bit, let it cool kind of deal. Kind of like you saw me doing Tad's housings for that Bronco. So we'll get this one done, and then I got to start working on this one here. We're going to clean this hole up a little bit and jam another piece in there to just make that look a little better. Wow, sorry. Yeah, now I gotta call and price out some angle iron. The channel's just too expensive. I don't want to spend that kind of money, so we're gonna try to do it and see if 2 pieces of angle iron will be cheaper than channel. If it ends up being the same price, I'm just gonna order the C channel. So we'll see. We'll see which route I end up going here once I get the price on the angle iron. The channel is like $660 a foot, which is outrageous right now. I'm just having a tough time stomaching that. So yeah. All right, I'll show you guys where I want to get. I'm gonna get this kind of dealt with. All right, you guys, I don't normally suggest welding in shorts and Crocs, but it's super hot out again today. It's like, I don't know. I think it's like 9, 10 o'clock and it's already in the 90s. So yeah, it's hot in here. I'm gonna be doing a lot of welding, cutting today. So wide stance, keep your legs away from the sparks, I guess, if you're gonna do stupid shit like I'm doing right now. Woo, that's hot. Work on my sleeve. Little trick, if you guys are welding overhead, turn your wire feed speed up just a little, and literally it's a back and forth motion. Let it burn in, forward, burn in, forward, burn in, forward. And then with the higher wire speed, you won't get splatter, you won't get stuff falling down in your face. I always run mine a little higher anyways, and I had it up knowing I was gonna do this weld overhead, but when you are welding overhead, higher wire speed, it seems to help. And then burn in, forward, just a quick motion like that, and it'll lay that weld in there pretty nice. Ouch, that's hot. All right, guys, so here's what I did. So you can see this hole is pretty bad. I took my marks on the other side and I carried them across, brought them up here, then I just used my 4.5-inch wheel, set it on there so I can make a radius. I'm gonna cut that out like that. Once my air compressor gets up to pressure, we'll cut it out with the plas, clean it up, bevel it, then we'll use our scrap piece to make a piece to fill this. We'll get it all ground up, chamfered, and put in there. Yeah, then I'm gonna have to, I think I'm gonna have to go to town. I'm running out of gas for my welder too, so I don't have a ton left. I've been using it for quite a while. She's almost out, so I'm gonna probably have to go get this filled. Yeah, so we'll get it filled. I'm probably gonna call my local place, see what they're gonna charge me for some angle iron. I don't really want to buy it because they're always so much more expensive than my Great Falls place, so we'll see. I may call both of them and see if Pacific will match seals, etc. So we will see. Hopefully I can get some angle iron today. I can get these cross members put in, and maybe we can actually lift this thing up, set it on the flatbed, and see where all these mounts, if any of them are going to work, or if I'm going to have to cut them all off and start over. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to cut them off and start over, but we'll see where I get when I get there, you guys. All right, you guys, I didn't want to bore you with all the grinding and whatever, but I had to get this piece welded in. Just made it a radius like that, welded it in, we got it welded underneath, and then welded on the back side there. Turned out pretty good. We're gonna throw a little paint on this. You know, if someone was gonna be seeing this a lot, you guys, I'd grind these welds smooth. So you couldn't even see it, but I just don't care. It's just my plow truck, so I'm gonna leave the welds. This side looks freaking pretty nice, actually. So we're just gonna put a little paint on it. I'm gonna call my supply place, see if I can get some metal today, so I can keep going with this, you guys. I'm kind of running out of stuff to do. I'm running out of gas. If I can't get metal today, I can't make up my mind. I'm gonna come back and work on this. We're gonna start pie cutting this. We're gonna get the wood out of it, pie cut this, and start pulling this back. Because I don't want to replace it. Dude, I was gonna build something way cool out of this, you guys. It's just a little rough. Maybe down the road I'll redo this headache rack on another video. I think for now, for this winter, we're just gonna get this thing straightened out the best we can. Probably throw some new wood in here. I got some more 2x6s. Probably throw some new wood in there. Probably mount. I got those hella lights I'm gonna put up there. I don't know if I showed you this already. I probably did, and I'm just going back over stuff, you guys. I got these hella lights when my father-in-law died. They were at his house in this bucket with a bunch of other lights, so I grabbed them because they were hellas. They're not super fancy hellas, but they're gonna work really good right there. I'm gonna mount them into a switch and my backup lights. So if I want them to come on, I just flip the switch. When the backup lights come on, these will come on, or I can run them manually. So I'll get those installed very last thing probably. We'll get this mounted to the truck first, so then worry about lighting, but I do got to fix that. We got to straighten her out. You guys can see it bent right there. It got crushed. I'm guessing somebody hit it about here and bent it that way, or they rolled this truck and it bent it. I've still got to pull square on this, you guys, so we got a ways to go still. This could be a long video and by the time we're all said and done. All right, you guys, it's Saturday morning. My wife's got some family stuff going on. She's out of town, so I want to say I have both kids. I did last night, and actually my oldest was up here with his girlfriend. They took Kylo last night, so me and Drive had a little sleepover, hung out. He's in watching Ninja Turtles, so I came out here working on this. You guys, I did order my part for my air compressor. If you guys saw that on the last several videos, I got it working, the automatic purge. There it went, it's working again. So yeah, the old one, the valve was just hammered on. I think I already pitched it. Yeah, it was just sticking and was having all sorts of issues, you guys. Whoa. Yeah, there's the old valve. Yeah, stuff down in there was all gummed up and just, I think there was a problem with the electrical connection here, because it was like, it's actually coming apart in the middle. So I just ordered a new one. They're like 19 bucks, so 23 bucks, something like that. So I did get that working. Bad thing is now the old truck's not working. I pulled it forward and I shut the engine off and it was still idling down, and I let my foot off the clutch and it lurched forward, and now it won't do anything. Turn the key, it's just like there's nothing there. So I must have blown a fuse or something. We'll get back to that later. I am working on this, you guys. You guys remember how bent and twang that was? So what I've done here is I came in right where this tube is bent. You can tell it was bent right there. There's a big divot in it. I pie cut this thing almost all the way around. I just ran 2 slits in it, and then I put my Harbor Freight Porta Power on here and just started pushing this back. It's actually closing up this gap. This is never gonna be perfect, you guys. I mean, if you look down that, you can see right here where this tube is wonky. But what it is doing is allowing this to fade back this way, more straight up and down. Then I'll come back through and weld those back up. I'm probably gonna end up putting some kind of bigger gusset up here. I just haven't made it that far yet. But see if I can hold this and do this. So here's my square. Before, I had a gap about that big between here and it was touching up here. We're definitely getting way closer now. It's maybe a 1/4 inch all the way up to there. I may have to do another cut here and lean this top back just a little. It's just tough because I'm not 100% sure where it's bent. Because I mean, even that now, if you look at it, it's pretty damn straight there. Even though I'm kind of on a weld and it's a little wonky right in the middle there, it's pretty good. Even up here is pretty square. It is coming back for sure. But I don't think I could have pulled that. I had to cut that to get it to go. But not a big deal. I can, you know, push that back. I mean, it's pretty close right now, you guys. yeah, it's kind of hard to tell up here. I am a little worried that it's tweaking this whole thing, having that pressure on there. What I'm hoping I can do is tack this, and what is pushing here, because I just got my thing jammed in between this frame, I'm hoping it's just pushing down on that. When I let it go, this will actually relax, because I can tell it's starting to lift in that corner just a little. What I'm probably going to do is tack these 4 spots to see if I can get this to hold, let the pressure off, and see if it'll actually hold it back here. If not, I'm going to have to keep pie cutting in here to get this to fold back where I want it to. But I said it's getting a hell of a lot closer than where we're at. This side was actually leaning forward or leaning back also, and now it's spot on. This was actually leaning this way a little bit. Now it's got about a 16th inch, maybe an 1/8 inch gap between the tube and my thing, mainly because I'm trying to stay off the weld in this corner where my my square is sitting. But yeah, it's almost an even gap all the way up there. So I know this is sitting about right now. This side's just a little wanky, and from here you can really see how bad that is kind of dipped in right there. I might run a couple more pie cuts down in this area, down here. Sorry, that was probably super loud. A big old piece of 3/8 angle I just dropped off there. I originally tried to clamp that angle to here, see if I could just pull it back, and it wasn't moving. But I'm looking at this now, I can see it's still bent right there, so I'm gonna come back through, make a couple more pie cuts down in this lower section, see if I can get it to go a little more. Then we'll just come back through and just weld all these pie cuts up, grind everything smooth again, and hopefully no one will be, you're gonna be able to tell a little bit because this is a little wonky, just because it was bent at some point, and I'm trying to straighten it the best I can. It is what it is, you guys. It's just a plow truck. Someday in the future, I may cut this off and design a whole better, cooler looking one. But for right now, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna run a couple more pie cuts in here, see if I can get more of this to relieve back so I can get this corner back straight. It already, I mean, you guys saw it before. It's already looking straighter than it was. You guys did notice I took all the wood out of here. I have leftover 2x6s that I'm probably gonna put back in there. I'm gonna stain them and put them in there. I was originally gonna do metal, but just to put the metal on here, it's like gonna be $600 plus my stringers, which are gonna be probably another 100. Yeah, I'm putting a lot of money into this, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably gonna wait on the decking. I'm gonna get my pieces in, and I'll probably throw some plywood on it for this winter, and wait till probably next summer to actually deck this with 11 gauge diamond plate or something, or just maybe some straight 11 gauge. I kind of like the idea of diamond plate just so you got a little bit of traction up there. We'll see though. I might just bite the bullet and just do it because I do want this done. It's gonna be really good for this plow truck, so we'll see. We're gonna get these cut out, you guys. I'll show you where. All right, you guys. So I'm still working on this corner. I cut 2 pie cuts in there, all the way through this side piece. You can see I've stuck 2 pieces of metal in here because I originally cut these and I pushed it, and it was bending on these 2. Then I cut these 2 and tried to keep pushing to get these to close up. It wouldn't, so I put these spacers in here to try to get this and this one to bend. Now I'll take these out, let the pressure off. Hopefully this thing, when I let it off last time, it still came back. We might have to tack this in a restrained state, and then hopefully it doesn't bend all the way back. You can see I have it over bent. It's actually too far that way. Because when I let this pressure off of this porta power, it actually springs back quite a bit. Like a lot. You can still see it's pretty twisted there. But those spacers allowed me to get that bottom to start moving a little bit. So instead of these collapsing, it started collapsing these ones. So I'm just trying to get that to flex a little bit. I'm gonna put the pressure on this, tack these back, let this pressure off, and hopefully that, when I put the pressure on the porta power, that corner's lifting. So I know it's twisting this whole framework right now. So I am watching that. But I do got to get this straightened out somehow. I might end up having to cut this thing all the way off and twisting it a little bit. I don't know. We'll see. But we just got our porta power here, just pushing on it. But as you can see, that corner is starting to lift over there as I put pressure to this. So I know it's tweaking it. See how bad it's lifting that corner? I'm hoping when I tack this back in at perfect 90 and I let this pressure off of here that it'll allow that corner to go down but keep this at a 90. I think it should. I don't know. I'm literally guessing at this point, you guys. Memory has metal. I think most of us know that. And when you bend it, it's sometimes really hard to get it back straight. That's looking pretty good right there. So I think I'm going to take my welder and tack these 4 outside corners. See if it'll stay there and allow that corner to drop back down, take the flex out of this thing. I'm hoping it will. All right, you guys. I've been hacking at this for a little while, trying to straighten this thing out. It's not going real great. Well, it's going okay. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 pie cuts in here. I did get this thing sitting pretty good. There's no pressure on my jack. It's just sitting up there right now on my porta power. It is actually running pretty square this way, you guys. Hell of a lot better than it was. Here's my problem. So I just pulled square on this thing. This thing is like 128 inches from corner to corner. It's spot on. But here's what it's doing. You can see it's out of level here, you guys. If you go down to the front, it's good. So it's just, yeah, it's really close. Some of that you're still seeing from there. It's just a lot less down here than it is at the other end. Put it on that rail, it's almost spot on. So literally from here to the other end, it's twisting this whole thing. I don't like that. I'd rather this thing be flat and not have this. So I think what I'm gonna do, you guys, I'm gonna cut this thing off flush here, all the way around. Same with over there, same with this bar. This whole thing's coming off. And then I think I'm gonna cut it right here. Right there, right there, right there. Because this section seems to be good. All right, guys, so I pulled my plow truck in here. I set the bed on it. Keep in mind, you guys, this bed came off of a Ford pickup, so it's big. I'm not gonna cut it down. It's not horrible. This is horrible for sure. From the front, you can see it overhangs a little bit. It's like 2.5 inches, which is actually good because it gives the tires and the chain plenty of clearance here. So you can see this cross member's in the way. If this comes up, it's gonna get into it. So I'm kind of laying out where my cross members, new cross member is gonna be here. 2 foot for the tire. And then this back half from there is gonna move to here. So I'm cutting it off right here. This is moving forward. I'm gonna get my other braces put in first before I cut the ass end of that off. Once I cut that off, I got a mark on the frame here. I'm gonna cut the frame off right there too. So I'm losing, you know, that much room. Sorry, that much. Essentially where this is sitting, all the way back to here. I'm gonna move this forward. I'll have to move my stake pocket here. It'll end up being over here somewhere. Not a big deal. The cool thing about it is these actually lined up fairly decently. At least they're hitting the frame here. Those ones are too high. So I got them marked. I'm gonna cut them off so when I set this back on here, I can move them down. These ones are actually hitting the frame. They're kind of sticking out here in space doing nothing. I'm gonna leave them because it's actually hitting the frame there and back there. So it's leveling this thing pretty good. The front here, I'm gonna have to figure something out. I got this piece of square tube I kind of stuck under here just for a minute. Thinking maybe I could make something work there. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out some kind of mount up here. Yeah, I may be able to get to this one. I don't know yet. I'm gonna get my cross members put in first and then go from there. As you guys can see, this headache rack is hideous. I absolutely hate it. It's way too tall. This sticks way out. This is in the wrong spot. I don't like it at all. It's just freaking hideous. This is way too tall. This needs to be down here. This about, from here to here is about 15.5 inches. You guys knew I was working on that corner trying to straighten this out. It got straighter. I'm cutting the whole thing off. I flipping hate it. It's ugly. Yeah, look at it from the back. It's even worse. It's not horrible. I'm just not a big fan of it, I guess. It's just too tall. Yeah. So we're going to do what I said. We're going to cut that off, cut it off, throw it off to the side for now. We're gonna get this part done, mounted, then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna rebuild that. I may just move this whole thing down so that this is here. It's just too tall and looks stupid. I don't know. I'm also contemplating getting a piece of sked to 40 pipe and going this way. Radius in the corners around like that. Maybe doing a double. This one lean back a little bit at an angle. I don't know. Ideas. We have options though, so that's good. All right, everyone out there. We had some camera issues yesterday. Imagine that, right? I couldn't keep my GoPro charged. It was kicking my butt a little bit. I'd record a little, it would die. Record a little, it would die. I'm gonna have to call GoPro again. Figure out what the hell's going on with it. I do want to show you where I got, you guys. So I took this. I'm not 100% sure where I left off with you guys. So I took this, I lifted it off, I set it on my truck to see where cross members were gonna be, if that was actually gonna be in the way, how bad this headache rack up here was tweaking the frame when it was on my truck. It was tweaking it. I finally had enough of this. I put that up there and it looked ugly. This top bar was about 6 inches above the top of the cab. This lower bar that's supposed to be at the bottom of the window, wrong spot. It looked stupid. You guys, I'm not gonna lie, I hated it. It was so ugly. And with all the pie cuts over there trying to get this thing straight, hopefully you guys can see that. There's a big old gap. So if I step on this one, you watch the other end. This thing is way tweaked. I would have had to do a lot of pie cuts to get this thing. I would have probably had to cut it here. I actually don't mind this a whole bunch. It's not horrible, it's not great. I think what I'm gonna do is cut this thing off right here. And right down here. I got a mark right there. You can see I'm gonna whack, maybe not. I'm gonna whack that thing off right there. This thing's way high. It's like 20, I think it was 22 inches. And from my deck surface up to the bottom of my window, my rear window, that bar, it's only like 15 1/4. So it was way too tall, you guys. It just looked stupid. Don't quote me on those measurements. That's just kind of what I remember from yesterday. I don't like it at all. It looks stupid. Yeah, so I'm kind of contemplating going round tube, or I might end up using this top section and just redo this bottom section. I haven't quite decided yet. I will show you this. I did get everything cut off, ground smooth here, here, and here. So the headache rack's totally gone. I got this laid out where my new cross members are gonna go. So I'm gonna have 1, 2, that'll be gone because it'll hit the tire. 3, and then this one right here is gonna be this. So I'm gonna cut this off right here and I'm gonna move it to here. That makes my flatbed like 90 inches, which is good because I can fit 2 sheets of 4x8 on here, either that way or this way. So that this, it'll fit that way better with it this way. And that way I can cut the back of my frame off. I can lose like 4 inches of frame on my truck. This can get shorter. The truck just gets shorter. Everything gets smaller, which is good. I do got a lot of stuff still cut off here. These ones, they actually sit on the frame. I'm gonna be able to use them and just re-drill holes here. When I move this up, there's like a X member where the spare tire sits. These holes and those brackets will be right perfect on the other side of that X bracket, which will be good. These second ones in, they're too far off the frame. They're, like I said, this came off a Ford pickup, so they're about 1/2 inch too high this way. So I'm gonna cut them off and eventually move them down. I'll probably still use them. I just gotta move them down. The tops of these sticking up are gonna be an issue when I put my cross member in here. It's gonna hit them. So I gotta grind that down a little bit, but these ones actually touch the frame. They touch the frame in a good spot, but a bad spot. So literally it's just catching the frame right here on the end. All this is overhanging the frame. I do like this because it gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4 spots that are actually hitting my frame to kind of level this to the truck. This one is totally coming off because there's not one over there. It's not even hitting anything. These ones are coming off, they're in the wrong spot. I'm gonna make some kind of bracket off the front of this here to catch. There's a a mount on there for the original bed. I'm gonna try to catch that with some plating. So I'll probably just have that one and this one and the end one. So we'll have 6 points that actually hit the frame off of our main channel here. So yeah, it's getting there, you guys, slowly. This is gonna take a lot of work back here to cut and grind and notch and reattach this back to this truck. It's gonna take a little bit of doing. But I am gonna put all my cross members in first, cut this out, because I may end up using this for the lower section of my headache rack, and then mount that top part of the headache rack to this channel. Because I don't want to waste it, because like this stuff isn't cheap. The 3 cross members I'm putting in here, like, they're not cheap right now. They're gonna be $139 just for 3 pieces. So that's pretty pricey, you guys. Metal's kind of through the roof right now. That's kind of why I got this flatbed. I mean, there's over $300 worth of metal just sitting here. That's why I'm going to try to use as much of it as possible. I do got to push out some dents here. Use my porta power to push those out. This one's bent. This is a little bent. I'll get that pushed out. There's another one up there that's bent. So we'll be doing that today. It's Sunday, you guys. I'm not going to actually work on this. I'm gonna go to Butte with my oldest son and my youngest son and my oldest son's girlfriend. We're gonna go over there to a pizza place, check some stuff out in Butte, play some video games and stuff. My daughter went camping with a friend, so my wife's in Idaho. Her grandma's not doing super hot, so yeah, she's down there kind of seeing her. So we're actually going on vacation next weekend too, so you guys will probably see one of our other videos from the old truck, and then we'll be back on this the week after. So I got like 2 weeks where I'm going to be out. I think we have enough recorded so you guys can have a video every week. We'll see though. I might miss a week, you guys. If I do, I'll figure out a short or something to send out to you guys. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at with this thing. We're getting closer every day, and we're getting a little closer. Like I said, I'm probably not going to sheet this with 10 gauge this year. I'll probably put plywood on it for now to make it through this winter. Then next year I'll pull the plywood and I'll sheet it, because 10 gauge it's actually like 11 gauge. It's pretty expensive right now. I'm trying to look for a price. Yeah, so 1/8 inch diamond plate like decking was $325 a sheet. 4x8 1/8 inch was $264 a sheet. So that's doubled, you guys. I mean, we're talking several $100s that I'm already into this thing, like $300. So yeah, we'll see. I may just bite the bullet and buy it. I don't know. It's a lot of money. All right, well, that's kind of where we're at, you guys. I just wanted to give you an update because I was having so many camera issues yesterday with this thing dying. Like literally, I've been recording now for 8 minutes and I'm already to 80% of my battery, and it was at 100. So you can see what I'm struggling with my GoPro. I'm gonna have to give them a call and get something figured out again, because it was working okay for a little while and it's right back to the same junk again. So we'll see.